Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are thrilled to have in the studio with us today Alicia Kitagawa. She's the Executive Director of Life Sciences Cares. How you doing, Alicia?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and I want to, first of all, thank you so much for working with my colleague, founder and CEO of Cloudcast Media, Charles Parisi, to be part of the 8th Annual Classroom of the Future Foundation College and Career Pathways Summit. I popped my head into that session, and it was vibrant. People were engaged, and we appreciate it. Anytime we have top shelf organizations like yours talking to our audience about careers and everything in between, really important.
Oh, my pleasure. No, it was great to be able to engage our network and some of our corporate partners and those who are part of the Life Science Cares community here to, provide access and education about the incredible life science industry that we have right here in our backyard.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the mission of the organization?
Yeah, so Life Science Cares was started in 2016 in Boston, and we opened up our affiliate office here in San Diego in 2019. We work to support the community and to address poverty and its root causes. We have 3 sort of focus areas: basic needs, education, and economic opportunity. And we are committed to serving and lifting up the San Diego community.
You mentioned poverty. Talking offline, I've been honored to have been involved with the Classroom of the Future Foundation since its inception in 1997, when pretty much we're the fundraising arm in many ways of the County Office of Education. Are you working with their North Star initiative? Are you familiar with it?
I'm not familiar with it.
So I'll make an introduction to you and the new superintendent of schools, Gloria Cerisa. The North Star was actually started by Dr. Paul Gothold, the previous county superintendent, and its bold goal at the end of 2030 is to reduce poverty by like 30%, which is mind-numbing and X, Y, and Z. I hope I got my numbers right on it. But they call it their North Star. And obviously that's what you focus on many things is on poverty. I'll put you folks together in this. You've always been interested in life sciences?
No, chemistry was probably the worst class. I got the worst grade in chemistry. So science was something that that scared me and was not my strength. But I've always been so appreciative and inspired by science and medicine and technology and all that the life science community and the healthcare community brings to our world.
Right.
As I've gotten to know the industry over the last 7 months, my appreciation for what they do has only grown, and it's incredible the work that's being done, the diseases that are being addressed, and the cures that are being found right here in San Diego County.
Well, I'm not sure if Charles told you or not. My father was a medical doctor and taught, I think I mentioned to you, medicine at UCLA, and obviously without research, we're not going too far in this world, right? It's so important what you're doing. But were you inspired by life sciences as a kid? Was it in your family? Was it, listen, I wanted to do this at Georgetown, or when did you get interested in this?
Yeah, so my mom was a nurse.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I've always just been really appreciative of all that healthcare and medicine does for the world. And so in all honesty, when this opportunity to lead Life Science Cares came up, the experience and the strength and the skill sets that I think I bring to the organization were not industry specific. So it really was not any experience that I had in the life science community. It was more of my experience and network with philanthropy and the nonprofit sector, and having some, private sector business acumen that I could kind of bring those 3 together and try to build a connection between the time, talent, and treasure that the life science industry brings, and make that connection with our nonprofit sector and the work that's being done.
Yeah, and as you were saying before, talk about. I mean, San Diego, our region, is a poster child for life sciences.
Sure is.
And if not the shining star in the country, one of the shining stars. Talk about that.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we were started in Boston, which is, a huge biotech hub. We also have affiliates in the Bay Area, Philadelphia, New York, and we just opened up in Switzerland, which is exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, very exciting. We're going international. But yeah, San Diego is a hub of innovation and a hub of, incredible strides that are being made in therapeutics and pharmaceuticals and diagnostics and medical technology, all those different sectors that build the life science, community. It's just incredible what is being done. The contributions that they make, not just to our local economy and our local community, but that they're really making such a mark in the world, and humankind in the greater sense. I think the fact that we have so many incredible universities and research institutions here as well really just adds the strength and sort of the bench for the life science industry to thrive.
Yeah, and as without question, those things that you're discovering now or on the way to discovering, or who knows, you never know what tentacle makes a left turn or a right turn or a U-turn with science. The life-changing work that's going on and how many people it's going to impact in 30 years, 100 years, or whatever years down the road is just huge, especially in your space. Talk about your model, activating financial, human, and social capital. I'm curious.
Yeah. So Life Science Cares, as you just said, we sort of take a three-pronged approach to tackling poverty and to engaging the life science industry. So financial, human, and social capital. The financial capital is in the form of grant making. We have sort of a collective impact model where our supporters are individual biotech, life science executives and leaders who contribute, part of their wealth to Life Science Cares. And then we also have corporate partners, so local companies that, as sort of a form of corporate social responsibility, if you will, contribute to the organization and the impact that we're making. So collectively, this past year, we were able to award $1.9 million to 20 organizations that are working in the areas of addressing basic needs, education, economic opportunity. We also, on the human capital side, have realized that there is such an interest among this community in the life science industry in particular to not just write a check, but to roll up their sleeves and to volunteer with the organizations in a variety of ways. So as an example, we have Feeding San Diego is in our grants portfolio, and oftentimes we have corporate partners, teams of employees who will go and pack food at Feeding San Diego. We also have donation drives, 5 a year. Different kinds of donations drive. One of them that is my favorite is every Halloween or every October, people within our industry buy brand new Halloween costumes for Monarch School, and the students of Monarch School can go and shop for their favorite Halloween costume, things of that nature. And then we also have, with the human capital and volunteerism piece, really a commitment to providing access and exposure to the life science industry. And so we do that in the form of site visits and lab tours. One of my first experiences as the executive director was spending the afternoon at Avidity Biosciences here in Torrey Pines, and 10 or 11 Monarch School high school students had the opportunity to come up and put on lab coats and get to tour the lab. And it was incredible to just see their eyes pop open and see themselves in as having that opportunity that this could be an industry that they could pursue a career in. In addition to the lab tours, they also were able to sit down with Sarah Boyce, the CEO, who's just a rock star, and her team. There are about 15 or 20 of her employees representing representing all different job functions, and they did a speed networking session with these kids. So they were able to ask questions of like, well, I want to be an attorney. I want to be a lawyer. How do I, is life sciences an industry that I could get into if I want to be in a legal sector? And the answer is yes. You don't just have to be a scientist.
Well, I'm glad you hit on this. Chatting with Alicia Kitagawa. She is the Executive Director of Life Sciences Cares. I'm Drew Schlosberg, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, from food insecurity, which you'd be interested in because of feeding the San Diego, along with financial literacy and arts and so forth. I am so glad that you brought up collective impact. We have our good friends, the San Diego Women's Foundation, on all the time, and they're certainly involved with collective philanthropy. And it makes all the sense that everybody is, digging in and so forth and contributing as a whole. And what that leads to is being able to give out $1.9 million in grants and all that business. And I love the fact that it's more than checkbook philanthropy.
Yeah.
Listen, we know money turns lights on. We get that. That is important. Don't ever discount that. You know that better than anybody. But when you're shoulder to shoulder with folks, such as the Halloween outfits for the Monarch School, and our good friend Joseph Clevenger, superintendent of the county office, I'll make an introduction to you. He's now in charge of that. So he's has the JCC has the juvenile court schools and Monarch underneath it. He'd love to meet you and so forth in this area. But talk a little bit about the careers, which is near and dear to our heart at Classroom of the Future. You hit something that I love talking about. I spent time at the San Diego Union Tribune running community and public relations. 1/8 of the people were writers. 7/8 did everything but writing.
Right.
And I don't know how, if you think you would have failed chemistry, I wouldn't even gotten through page 1, for God's sake. But you need marketers, you need graphic artists, you need lawyers, you need everything in between in life sciences. Talk about that.
Yeah, so that's sort of the social capital part of our model. We have a summer internship called Project Onramp. Last summer, we had 40 interns. This year, I'm thrilled that we're probably going to be upwards of 70 or 75 interns, which is pretty rad.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all because of my team at Life Science Cares, but and also our broader network. So Project Onramp provides a paid summer internship, a 9-week internship with a local biotech life science company for college students who are pursuing or interested in STEM as a career. And it's primarily for students who don't have access or exposure to this industry and don't have, a neighbor that they can call to get a summer internship at their local biotech. So it's a great opportunity for students to get that access and exposure. And it's not just for kids who are pursuing science or biology majors or chemistry majors. We have this coming summer, we have interns that will be spending time in the legal department at Dexcom. We have in the past had interns who have been in the HR departments at Vividian, marketing departments, finance, really spanning the different functions that it takes to run a business. These biotech and life science companies are they're companies and they're businesses, and they require all different skill sets, not just the very important skill set of being the scientists and the ones who are doing the research and the clinical studies and bringing these drugs and therapeutics to market.
Yeah, we'll come back from break. I want to really hit on something you brought up about the Monarch students, going ahead and meeting with the life sciences CEOs. Never get lost on the fact that so many kids in San Diego County have never been to the beach, never been to the mountains, never been to a Padre game, or never done any of those things. And then talk about some of the challenges that you see moving forward, not just necessarily with Life Sciences Cares, but just in general. And we always save time, Alicia, on the second half. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? What can we do to help continue to raise the amazing things that you are doing for our community? When we return with Alicia Kitagawa, she is the Executive Director of Life Sciences Cares. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for the last 6 decades in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Thrilled to have in the studio with us today Alicia Kitagawa. She is the Executive Director of Life Sciences Cares. Our Spotlight in the Community show is brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County. You know, we were just talking about before break about that experience those Monarch students had, visiting one of the CEOs, and never lost upon us, and it's not lost upon you. It's in the DNA of you personally, Alicia, and of course of your Life Sciences Cares group, is there are so many kids that don't have these opportunities, have never been to the beach in San Diego County, as shocking as that sounds, it's true, or the mountains or whatever. And now getting them in these areas that they never even have heard of before, but or even thought they could have a career, it's got to be so cool.
It is. It's really cool. And, during my interview with the board of Life Science Cares, I said very strongly, and I strongly believe this, that I don't believe that any industry or company in San Diego needs to look outside of our county to build their pipeline of talent. Like, you just don't. There is a tremendous amount of motivation and bright, talented kids who are eager to, change the trajectory of their family's situation, socioeconomic status, and generational wealth. And they just don't have many of them just don't have the access or the exposure to the tremendous opportunities and industries that we have right here in our backyard.
Can you imagine, and I know you have because you're living it, that if other companies like yours, every one of them, just took on some group that opened the door, whatever it is, whatever the timing and all that. And some we have to be a little careful with, maybe for security reasons or HIPAA stuff or whatever, and gave that opportunity and opened the lights and the floodgates to so many, we would have those folks staying in our communities, whether they're going to the wonderful community colleges that we have in our region, and we got some great community colleges, as you well know. And of course, the 4-year schools, nothing against your former school, the Georgetowns and all that business. We think that's but to your point, we want to keep people home. It's one of the goals of EDC, of course, and doing that, talk about that. It's just so important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, first of all, I really enjoyed my time on the East Coast, but being able to have a 72-degree day in January or February all through the year, it's hard to leave San Diego. This is a wonderful place to work and live and to thrive. And I think that, there's tremendous opportunities, and to be able to build our industry, our industries and our community from within, and to invest. We as community members and as taxpayers, and we are all investing in our children from birth and all the way up through school. Why would we not want to encourage students who are here in middle school and high school to stay through college or to come back after college to San Diego to contribute back to our community. And there's so many different industries. I mean, obviously, life science is an incredible industry, but we have so many other ones here in San Diego and all different job functions and skill sets and areas of expertise that need to be leveraged. And the pipeline of talent is really ripe here in San Diego. We just need to, in my opinion, we just need to be putting more resources into our schools and our organizations that are supporting students, financial resources, but also that human and social capital that we can provide.
Well, you're spot on, and you hit on something that's near and dear to my heart, and I know it's in your DNA, just, chatting with you briefly, and obviously what you're doing as a CEO of this, an executive director of this organization, is that every kid can learn. Every kid can give something back, whether they don't think they have the talent or not. No, you have the talent. Just depends. We're going to unlock that talent. And I didn't realize I was good at X. Well, those are what great teachers do. That's what great businesses do.
Right.
That's what great everything does. And we know it's there. I was honored to be on the AVID board for 9 years. It's the leading college prep program in the country. Started in 1980 by English teacher Mary Catherine Swanson. Her belief was, listen, I don't care if these kids come from different backgrounds or different colors. You give them the right tools, they're going to succeed, and they have. And that's exactly what you're talking about. It's beautiful. Talk about some of the challenges, not just facing life sciences cares, but in general in this space.
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point when we're recording this podcast, it's hard not to state the obvious, the challenges that we're having with federal cutbacks to NIH and FDA, and what's happening with the markets. Obviously, is of concern and is affecting the life science industry, both in the short term and also thinking long term. And it's something that I think as things shake out, it'll be interesting to see how that affects how we're looking at pipeline and building the ecosystem here. With Life Science Cares, one of the good challenges to have, I would say, is that we have so many nonprofit organizations in our community that are doing incredible work.
That's right.
And that we want to be able to serve and, trying to find that right balance of how do we ensure that we are investing in our current portfolio of grantees at a level that is going to make them or help them make a meaningful impact, while also ensuring that we can serve other organizations that are not in our grant portfolio. So one way that we're mitigating that is to really be opening up our opportunities for the deployment of human capital and volunteerism to other organizations in the community. So you don't need to just be a Life Science Cares grantee who's getting a financial contribution from us each year to be able to engage with our industry and our network. We can certainly help to make those connections through volunteerism, especially those that are with organizations that are within our three pillars of basic needs and education and economic opportunity.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And listen, I'm just a firm believer in there's some things that are the right things to do, and people can be impactful. And you need to sit there and fight for what's right. And everyone really wants to do it. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, what color you are, what polka dot you are. You want to be healthy. You want your kids to be healthy. You want your family to be healthy. And how do we get there? Yeah. And what you folks are doing with a laser beam on reducing poverty and giving people the opportunities. Who doesn't want that? I don't care. I can't imagine anyone doesn't want it. Let's all rally together and focus on that aspect of it.
Yeah, the Greek root of the word philanthropy is love for humankind. And people who get into the life science industry do so because they have a love for humankind, right? They want to make health and wellness, and they want to extend people's lives, and they want to improve the quality of life. And it's literally in the DNA of people who get into the life sciences industry, whether they are, scientists or attorneys or CEOs or whatnot. And so there is this commitment among this industry that I have never had the pleasure of experiencing before, to give back as much and as best as they can. And some of those are in the form of very generous donations that are, a result of somebody's wealth generating event that happened because of, an industry event. And others are literally them rolling up their sleeves and bringing their kids to a local food pantry or an organization's, volunteer opportunity. A couple of weeks ago on March 14th, which was Pi Day, we had a science fair. It was pouring rain and more than 350 students showed up. It was hosted by Mana San Diego, and a bunch of our corporate partners came. We had Pfizer, we had Ionis Pharmaceuticals, Cura Oncology, California Life Sciences, and Anaptys Bio, and a couple of others. And they came and they hosted science projects that these kids could literally get their hands dirty, and they could see literally through a microscope, and in other ways they could see what the possibilities of a career could be. And it was on a Friday night on a rainy evening, and these people came out and showed up for these kids. It was really heartwarming.
Well, I can't wait to get you on a tour of the Luna Vista Innovation Center that has 6 labs that are focused on this, where kids get to touch things and e-sport things and optometry people and everything in between. I think you'd enjoy that. Alicia Kitagawa, what can we do to support you? What website can we go to help you with your goals?
Thank you. So our website is lifesciencecares.org. And you can click on San Diego to get more local information. I think at this point, really just helping to spread the word about the work that we're doing, and not just the work that we're doing, but the impact that our nonprofit grantees are making in the community. They're the ones who are boots on the ground, who are doing the really hard work every day, who are facing pretty critical challenges right now with the environment and lots of different things that are happening. So, right. I would just love to evangelize the organizations that that Life Science Cares is supporting through our financial, human, and social capital, and encourage community members to get involved with them. You can find the list of the nonprofits on our website. All of them have volunteer opportunities, and they also obviously could greatly benefit from donations and other forms of support. So, and please feel free to reach out to Life Science Cares, myself and my team. If any communities have ideas or opportunities for partnering, we're always looking at strategic partnerships with others within and outside of our industry, just with the collected effort and commitment to making San Diego a better place for all.
Yeah, promise me you're going to make a return appearance. And when you do, I want you to bring in a couple of the nonprofits that you
I would love that.
Monarch School, anybody in between. You being in there and them talking about what the impact of Life Sciences Cares had with them, because that is the boots on the ground, as you said, 8,000 nonprofits running around San Diego County, depending on which metric you're using. An absolute joy chatting with you, Alicia, and maybe to your detriment, not the last time you'll be on the show.
Thank you. I look forward to next time.
You bet. Alicia Kitagawa, she's the Executive Director of Life Sciences Cares. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year, brought to you by the unbelievably philanthropic and benevolent folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for people living in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.